Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer action. We're here with the Skaven, going to be taking a look at the Master Assassin today, going up against Gojira's Greenskins. So let's talk about the lad here a bit. He's got one item in particular that I was interested in against the Greenskins. That's this Sacred Banner of the Horned Rat for -8 leadership AoE. Also got Slippery, Rival Hide Talisman, and you can see he's got an Assassin Bodyguard here. It gives me 2 charges of Rival Hide Talisman. That melee attack buff debuff rather, going to be very impactful for the Greenskins, especially, you can time it when they have their WA active or whatever. Blooming Dread is the main reason you bring him. It's a missile resistance rather, speed and melee defense debuff, castable on characters only. You can see I've thrown it on Grimgor already to take away his innate missile resistance that he has as a character, and we're going to be shooting at him with those natty boobos. As for the rest of the army here, we've got a unit of grinders to help tie things down, teeth breakers, wheels of doom for some proper terror, to help stack some additional leadership debuffs. I believe I've got some, looks like some warp fire throwers here in the forest, a couple of rat ogres, and again for the contaminated leadership debuff, we've got the plague priest here. So we've got contaminated, we've got the burnt effect, of course, from the warp fire throwers, the leadership effect of the Master Assassin, and the Terror of the Doom Wheel. Hopefully we can use those all in good synergy. As for Gojira's Greenskins, got a pretty nice wide army here. Grimgor getting sniped, but a couple of Wolf Rider chariots, super solid here. Spider Riders moving in the front line with goblins, also very cost effective here. Does have one unit of Black Orcs, a couple of Biggins as well for some heavy hitting, and plenty of bows as well. Right off the bat, you can see the chariots punching through my front line, getting into my weapon teams, which is not the best, but they are going to get hit by that flaming attack there, causing an instant terror route, more or less, to the hands of the Wheel of Doom there. The Wheels of Doom, rather. So pretty good stuff. Rattling Gunners don't really have that great of a line of sight on this back slope, though, so they are, unfortunately, it looks like maneuvering up there to have some issues. But anyway, we're going to start pushing forward here. You can see with the Master Assassin, while that WA was active, I had that Rival Hide Talisman up, and is going to continue to last some time here, and will affect these various units. You can see significantly debuffs their melee attack, so even with that WA active, kind of help mitigate some of that. And just keeping these two in a little death squad together, and also using the Wheels of Doom to kind of get that rear charge and a terror route. Using them in synergy, I'm a little bit far away to try and get any of the benefit from the Warp Fire Throwers or the Plague Priest, but at the same time, this Plague Priest up against the rock right here is kind of anchoring this formation. You can see the Rat Ogres have gotten in here. Biggins are going to be a big issue, though. Big issue, get it? And especially the Orc Heirs as well, because their good AP values can pour in a lot of really nice fire here, so it's a dangerous situation. I'm going to be taking a lot of damage on that Plague Priest over time, and likewise, the Rat Ogre is obviously not going to hold up well to Biggins at all, so a little bit rough stuff. That being said, the wheel on loan from Ikit. So yeah, I have to admit, I've been playing a campaign, Clan Eshin campaign, just to be able to give you guys like a proper review, and with the new turn times, I've been loving it. But oh man, Grimgor is about to get handled here, as these two synergize very well with each other. Of course, the Assassin doesn't have the greatest AP values, but with the Weeping Blade from the Master, that means Grimgor down to only 60 armor. He's just going to get canned by these two little Skaven melee heroes. So while initially, we went for the missile snipe, Grimgor is deserving of a proper death in melee, and by proper, I mean fighting 2-on-1 in terrible odds with debuffs and everything. Yeah, rough stuff for Grimgor, but he gets absolutely killed there by the Assassins. Wheels of Doom also just keeping that terror route going as much as possible. Bounce power still pretty close, though, as the Plague Priest is getting worn down by that bow fire, and the Biggins are just crumping through this front line like it's nothing. Thankfully, I've been able to keep my weapon teams mostly free. The Teeth Breakers, mostly an exception to that. They, only 3 kills on them, not too good. But the Natty Boobos, at least, and these Warp Fire Throwers are able to stay free. Grinders also just kind of sitting in a reserve position. Don't really want to just throw them straight into Black Orcs, well, they will die almost immediately. So, yeah. I'm going to just try and now throw in the Slave Slingers here, and also bring in the Warp Grinders kind of a last reserve. But we've cleaned up a lot of these units in the back line. Can be a bit tough sometimes for Skaven to clean up routing units, because they don't have any fast attack units like hounds or proper light cavalry or anything like that. So it's going to be tough. But the Master Assassin getting in here, he is pretty low on HP, but he's still got plenty left in the tank potentially. A lot of ammo still. So if I can bail him out of that situation there and get him free from those biggins, he should be okay. Looks like he is going to get that little bit of a speed buff there from that wavering leadership. Able to squeak away just barely. And yeah, Wheels of Doom. Again, keeping that terror route up, and I'm going to try and use these summon clan rats as much as possible to keep these routed units just pressured away. Unfortunately, the Plague Priest is pretty much about to go down here. And yeah, I don't know that he's going to come back at this point. Pretty low on leadership. He honestly looking like he might rally here, but this Gobbo Big Boss has got other ideas as he comes through. Oh man. A little bit slow to react there with the rallied units, and the Rat Ogres try and come back as well, but he lands the killing blow, so that's a bit rough. Plague Furnace down is definitely a big boon in the Greenskins' favor, and you can see the balance power shifts wildly against me there. That being said, again, still have plenty of ammo on the Master Assassin. He has anti-infantry poison shuriken here that actually have pretty good penetration on infantry. You can kind of side shot them through and do some pretty good damage just in general, but the fact that I have this Doom Wheel here, Gojira doesn't have that many great tools for killing the Doom Wheel, especially with Grimgor dead. I mean, he still has a lot of troops here, but there's just, I mean, the Biggins have anti-large, but they're not immune to psychology. This one unit of Orcs is the one unit that is immune to psychology, and even still, we're stacking some various leadership debuffs on them to just straight up rout them here, right? So if we take a look here, that under missile fire, Lord dead, obviously, discouraged by ability, you see that there is quite high. So yeah, going to be using those stacking leadership debuffs to our advantage in this late game here to try and keep these Greenskins on the back foot as much as possible. And the two low leadership factions kind of abusing each other in that way, but at this point the Master Assassin is hanging on still. 600 HP, almost 700 there, and the Doom Wheel taking maybe some friendly fire there. That wasn't the best, but it's all good. Still got some warp fire throwers. Should be able to start to get some good volleys with them. Maybe not. Looks like these Gobbo's going to run just out of range in pursuit of that Doom Wheel. But we should be able to get roast on some routing units at least. Come on, guys. Yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, that's what we want to see. Ooh, absolute brutality. We all know Flamers are good against Orcs, right? So pretty good stuff. That being said, you can see even in the late game here, these Orc Airboys are still dangerous to my Doom Wheel with massed fire, and that's really the biggest danger to me at this point. So the Doom Wheel kind of getting stuck up here is a little bit problematic. I do need to try and keep the terror route going as much as possible. We've got some slaves in here providing some kind of anchor bodies, at least, that can then pursue the routing units, but the Doom Wheel just took a few huge volleys there, and all of a sudden I'm not feeling too comfortable about my chances of being able to finish this. Natty Boobos are still on the field, though, trying to pick away at those chariots. We've also got the Grinders back from route as well, so we'll see. Definitely pretty close. Nice warp fire thrower down the hill. I don't know if it actually made contact with any of the enemies there, but maybe a little bit. Enough to rout them off at the very least at the hands of some tattered clan rats. We're now going to take the charge from that chariot there. Not really able to stop them, unfortunately. Have 0 mass left at this point, but at least the Master Assassin can come in and throw shuriken at them, right? And although it doesn't have the best AP on the shuriken, it's still, I mean, it's enough certainly to pick away at something like a chariot. I don't think the wolf chariots, yeah, they're only 45 armor anyway, so don't really need AP, right? And yeah, the Wheels of Doom continuing to just try and stay alive at this point. Again, I'm got a little bit separated there, but the key is to try and keep these unified as much as possible. And oh, looks like another character assassination lined up on this Gobbo Big Boss here. He thinks he's hot stuff, but yeah, he can't compare to the Master Assassin here. Oh, very nice kind of top-down melee attack there. Very cool stuff. I love his little like paw hand weapons too, like the little claws. I think it's super cool. Love the Master Assassin. Honestly, is the Master Assassin better than SNIKCH? In some ways, I would say yes, because he's a hybrid, you know, missile melee character. I mean, 60 attack, 45 defense, pretty good. Has armor piercing, anti-infantry weapon strength. Not the most weapon strength in the world, but still, 230 AP is quite good. And that missile attack as well. It doesn't do the most damage, but 3 shots per volley pretty accurately. And only a 5.4 reload time, so you can kind of provide that consistent DPS. And the poison as well with some anti-infantry. Let's see, that anti-infantry bonus plus 20 there. So it's, yeah, especially like side-shotting through units of infantry or picking away at like a Gotrek or a Felix type character. Very, very effective, certainly. And just the fact that he has that kind of hybrid role, in my mind at least, gives him more utility than SNIKCH. The missile debuff is a little bit different from Tretch's snare. You know, it's not a hard snare, but it does give a significant speed debuff, and you can use it to synergize with your missile units as well, so it's a little bit of a trade-off in that way, but just for me at least, the leadership debuff item as well, you can get really good synergy with on him. He's just dirt cheap in general. He's very squishy, but in this battle able to rack up 105 kills at the end of the day, and despite almost getting killed by a bunch of biggins there, which demonstrates his squishiness, yeah, still able to pull out quite the win there at the end of the day. 105 kills, very good stuff. 168 for the Wheels of Doom, of course. These two synergizing very well with each other, in particular. The Plague Priest, only 36 kills, but did get quite a number of Clan Rat summons off, and ate all of the arrows, which is amazing. 42 kills on Warp Grinders, not too bad. I didn't highlight it too much, but I was doing a decent job of using these guys to try and protect my weapon teams. My other weapon teams, I should say. That's kind of their role. Though I do think this build is a little bit too heavy on weapon teams. I played a similar build for those of you guys who watched the Content Creators Tournament over the weekend. I won't spoil the whole thing, but I did use a similar build to this, and I ended up running into some problems where I couldn't protect all my weapon teams. And I think just going a little bit more into the melee, like committing a little bit more to that melee blob fight would be better. Honestly, I think that one of these two Regiment of Renowned gun units needs to go. Probably the Teeth Breakers, just because they're a little bit harder to use. The Natty Boobos are going to be a little bit more consistent. And of course, you don't have to activate their hidden ability, they just come with it innately, right? So I'd probably hang on to the Natty Boobos in that situation and then cut the Teeth Breakers down. And yeah, maybe just take a unit of Flayers instead. I mean, I know it's not exactly a one-for-one cost. I'd have to maybe play around with a few other things, but just in general, having 1 or 2 units of Flayers, even cut both of those ROR guns, honestly, and just take 2 units of Flayers to back up that kind of little death Doom Ball with the Master Assassin and your Doom Wheel, honestly, probably is going to end up being maybe even better. The Plague Furnace is certainly a nice aspect, and I didn't do a good job of keeping it together, but at the same time, if you watch that video from the tournament, I didn't do that great of a job of, again, protecting my missile units, which the summons certainly help in doing that, right? So, Bless with Filth I would also take, just because that's going to be your only caster, and of course we also want the Assassin. And yeah, I had them both kitted out with Rival Hide Talisman, I believe, and Slippery probably want just for the extra melee defense and speed just in case. Skaven Brew is okay, but because it's a one-time use, I probably wouldn't. I mean, it's pretty strong one-time use, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I don't know, we'll come back to that one. For the time being, though, something like this, with this kind of a base, and then what did I have before? Let's see. Unit of Grinders, and then yeah, just kind of going all in with this melee Death Blob with the Wheels of Doom here. And having some fun that way. I mean, I guess if you really wanted to go all in, you could try and take the Council Guard, but you're starting to get a little bit thin at that point. Yeah, a couple Rat Ogres, probably a good idea as well. You can come in here and get some other various chaff units, you know, some Clan Rats and something like this, and then maybe grab some of these guys here. I don't know, just kind of throwing this together. Probably, I would end up fine-tuning this a lot more, but just, again, something like this, I think. I do lack the flaming debuff of the Warp Fire Throwers, which is kind of a fun pick, so I might try and squeeze them in somewhere. But at the same time, it's basically no units to protect, right? Just kind of all in on the rush. But it does leave you vulnerable in some other areas as well, not having any missile units. Besides your Lord, right? I mean, you do have the 1 missile unit here. But anyway, that's enough for the time being. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching that one. Yeah, honestly, I think Master Assassin is going to be a little bit more competitive than SNIKCH. SNIKCH is going to be good, but I think, honestly, both are not going to be as competitive as Skrulk, sadly. IKKIT's still going to be very good in a number of situations, but I think you're going to take a Footlord. Skrulk is probably the way to go still, in a competitive sense, but definitely these two are a lot of fun to play with, and they do offer you some nice utilities. Certainly the Master Assassin I'm a huge fan of. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.